Welcome to Coastal Wide Studios. We are here in our remote studio at the 2024 Florida Floodplain Managers Association Conference in Sandestin, Florida. And we are presenting our new show, Flood Facts, Myths, and Monsters. And I'll now introduce the host of our new show, Flood Facts, Myths, and Monsters, Denise Boning.
Thank you, Steve, for the introduction, and welcome again to another episode of Flood Facts, Myths, and Monsters. And on this day at the conference, I like to welcome our special guest, Conn Cole. And Conn Cole has, if you haven't heard from him, you were missing out, first of all. But most important, I think everybody who's in the floodplain industry knows who Conn Cole is, or I should say in Florida, floodplain industry. So, Conn, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you come from, and where are you now?
Okay, great question, and thanks for having me, and that's a pleasure to be here. My background started, 30 years ago in local government, mostly in Georgia, working with cities and counties, holding all sorts of positions, from right-of-way coordinator to actually I was a police officer at one time.
Oh, wow, really?
And a canine handler. That was many, many years ago. I've worked in planning and zoning, code enforcement, just all across the board, in floodplain management. Was a floodplain manager for a county in Georgia, Camden County, and also CRS coordinator. And my last stint with the county government before going to the state of Florida I was a magistrate judge.
Oh,
and
really?
So,
that is so, I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah, those little secret tidbits.
Yeah, my goodness.
And so we were, had moved from Camden County over to Thomas County, Georgia, to be closer to family and a new grandchild that was coming. Oh. And I was working with my son-in-law who has a private contracting business, does a lot of high-end stuff, real small clientele, and a lot of historic preservation. He wanted to grow his business and wanted to expand, and so I was helping him do that. And we got to that point, and then I was like, okay, what's next? And just saw the position advertised for the state of Florida as a floodplain management specialist. I'm like, oh, I've been there, done that. So applied and met with Steve Martin, was my predecessor, and met with him and was hired in August of 2018. And then I was quickly introduced to Florida with Hurricane Michael.
Oh, of course, yes. I remember that. And I remember the first time I met you and Steve Martin were doing a CAV in Indian River County. And I remember, you were just about to take over his position. He was just on the verge of being retired. Mm-hmm. So, I remember that. That's awesome. And so now you were the state floodplain coordinator for quite some time. Mm-hmm. And then just recently you have jumped over to the dark side, as they say. You are no longer in the government arena. You're now working for a private company. So how's that switch going?
It's going great. Much better than I expected. Yeah. And it was just, I called it just dumb luck on a casual phone call. And the company is the Forerunner, and we were clients of Forerunner at the state level for about 2 years. Okay. And so I knew the co-owners, JT and Susanna, and I just called JT one day. He had a position posted, and I was just curious about it. It was actually project manager. And so I'm like, you're on the tech world, and I'm in the project management world. What is this job compared to what I know? And we just talked about it. And he's like, well, why are you asking? And I was like, well, my wife's in the school system, and she'll be eligible to retire in probably a couple of years if she decides to. So I'm kind of just looking ahead to see, maybe some remote work. So I'm not ready to retire. I'm always going to be doing something. Yeah. And so I'm just kind of putting feelers out and kind of looking. And then JT said, well, maybe we need to talk some more. And it just one conversation after another. And the more we talked, it was just real casual on a personal level. And my 2-year plan ended up being a 5-week plan.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
With the opportunity to work remotely.
Yeah.
And then work with Forerunner and merge out of the compliance world of just compliance, and Florida Building Code, FEMA, NFIP, CRS. Now it's more of how can we help you at your day-to-day job, make life easier so you're doing everything you need to do so you don't have to worry about compliance because it's all there. So it's been an interesting shift because really my title is Hazard Mitigation Lead, which kind of covers a little bit of everything to cover my background, but I was brought in really as a subject matter expert to help the staffing with Forerunner, because you've got the engineers, the developers that are doing the product work based on what the clients are asking for, but they really don't connect the dots to how is this helping them or why are they asking for this. So I've been doing some internal training on the NFIP and how the state office works and how that translates to the local offices, and just getting the staff a better understanding of how their product and what they're doing is working at the local level so they can understand it and see where it's going. So the first time I've ever written a blog post. I've written a couple of blog posts.
I love
with
it.
Forerunner.
That's awesome.
We've done a couple of internal trainings and then presented here, at FFMA with Forerunner. And it's just, I didn't realize the shift because I've been in government for so long that I didn't realize, how different it was in the private sector.
Yeah.
You hear folks talk about it and you see folks change, but after being in it, it's like, I didn't realize either that my wife pointed it out that my stress level is just gone.
Oh,
and
I bet.
I was like, what stress level? She's like, are you kidding me? I was like, it was just a daily grind. It was just part of it. I didn't even realize it. And now it's like, gosh, it's totally different.
Yeah.
And I've even had people come up to me and say, you look so much different and so much happier. I'm like,
gosh,
more
relaxed.
what did I look like before?
Yeah, so much more relaxed.
Hi, my name is Steve Boning, President of Coastal Waterways. For over 15 years, our firm has provided engineering, floodplain management, and resiliency services within the coastal and marine environment. Our services include natural and hardened shoreline stabilization and restoration, dredging and marine structure engineering and permitting, community vulnerability assessments, and GIS analysis and numerical modeling. We are proud to sponsor Flood, Facts, Myths, and Monsters. Now let's get back to the show.
I just wanted to mention I did take the presentation, the Forerunner presentation on the repetitive loss, and I think it is awesome. I have done repetitive loss area analysis for some of my communities, the report, and I had to collect the information myself from what we had. What a nightmare. When you have a large community that has over 100 repetitive loss properties, I was trying to compile all that information. It took me forever. So having that system for the community where I basically have everything already and all I have to do is write the report, makes life so much easier.
Well, that's good to hear, because that's the goal. We just want it. They have to do it. You have to do this work anyway, so why not make it easier on yourself?
Yeah,
and then have a way to capture all that data so it's in one place, because that's where it was with us at the state. We had so many different things. We were using ArcGIS, we were using Survey 123. We were just all over the place trying to find something that fit our needs and what we wanted, and we just had just a pile of different things. And when Forerunner came in, it was just like, gosh, this is an eye opener. It was a game changer for us.
For sure. So now that you have left the state, there's a big hole there, and I'm sure they're still trying to fill that hole. Is there have they found anybody? What are they doing?
Well, the normal process with state government, you have to, post it and post the listing, and they've had to repost it a couple of times. They've only had just a few applicants apply. So in the meantime, who was my deputy state floodplain manager, Jillian Cranack, she's stepping in as interim and keeping things going and working with our bureau chief, Laura Dewey, who's also the state hazard mitigation officer. They're working together, kind of tag teaming it, keeping things going. It's a great staff. I mean, they know what they're doing. They were panicked when I left, and I was
I'm sure.
I was like, you guys have got this. I hired you. I hired you for a reason, because you can do this.
Yeah,
that's true. It was that uncomfortable nudge to just step out of that comfort zone and not have me to rely on, for certain things, and just getting more plugged in and making those decisions. But they're doing great. They're keeping it going, and I don't know where it's going to land. I don't know if maybe Jillian will eventually, step into that role. At first, she wasn't interested just because she was relatively new, but she's super talented. She's organized. She's doing a great job.
That's awesome.
And so, sometimes that's what happens. They just move, promote from within, and sometimes that works out real well.
Yeah, that's
versus
true.
bringing someone in. So
yeah, absolutely.
I kind of see how that goes, but they're still rocking and rolling and supporting the state.
So when we make a FFMA Hollywood movie, what actor should we hire to play you?
Well, since my life has been kind of crazy, all the different things, I just got to go old school with my favorite, Indiana Jones.
I love it. Yes.
All the trials and twists and turns of floodplain management and government.
I love it. That is great. I love it. Yes.
So you're a Harrison Ford fan.
Harrison Ford. I love it.
You might have to shave the beard, though.
Yeah.
He has to grow one, right?
He has to grow one out a little bit, yeah.
I love it. That's a great idea. That is awesome. Well, thank you so much, Conn, for coming on. And
pleasure.
I wish you all the best at Forerunner, and I hope I get to see you again very soon.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you for having me.